Hello everyone, I'm author and investigator Michael Chiricella. I'm here with a man by the name of Joe Caruso, a good friend of mine, who has quite the story to tell. He is, frankly, a walking medical miracle, as well as a man who is quite skilled in a number of trades. Could you tell us a little bit about those trades before we begin, just to let everyone know a little bit about you?
Oh, okay. Let's see. I started off as auto body painting, collision. I was a glazier, master welder, HVAC, tin knocker, which is a metal fabricator, pipe fitter, tiler, engineering, structures. I've done a lot. Plans, did $1 million projects for Bendix, Honeywell International. So it's quite a, as they would say, I'm a very skilled Renaissance man.
Clearly.
I've been a volunteer firefighter for, I would have made 30 years. I made 28, unfortunately. One of the reasons why we're here talking today.
Of course. Could you tell me a little bit more about why you didn't quite make that 30 years?
Well, in 2012, I was going through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of change for me at that point. I was, my job with the Township of West Milford, which I did a lot of stuff for the township,
Mm-hmm.
Corrected a lot of faults that they had. I did a major renovation for the kids, and we'll get to that at another time. I was closing a bear-proof dumpster, which every Tuesday, the garbage men would come, they empty it. Now this lid is about 8 feet long,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a bear-proof, it's all solid steel, 1/4 inch to 3/4 inch steel. Me and my partner, my fellow worker, we would have to close it.
Of course. Naturally.
This day, I was by myself.
Mm-hmm.
He was out, he's dealing with his own medical condition. Had a lot of bears that morning. I got kids that are dropped off right at that spot in the back of the Hillcrest Community Center. I had tons of garbage. It was a holiday weekend, Friday, Monday, so there was a lot going on, a lot of garbage that had to be emptied in the building. I'm by myself, and I did it. You know, bathrooms had to be cleaned. So Mama and her 2 or 3 cubs come back because actually I forgot to tell you, that was graduation weekend.
Really?
And at that time, when everybody has parties, they go up to Hillcrest and they throw all their garbage there because the bear didn't want them at their house. So anyway, so I had to close this dumpster because after they dumped it, I had close to 20 bags full, and these are 33-gallon stuffed bags
Right.
of garbage. So here I go. I've closed it by myself. So as my partner, you know, not often. We always try to do it with 2 guys. A lot of times the transit guys that work there for the buses and stuff, if they saw us by ourselves, they would always get out and help us close it. I had Mama and her 3 cubs, and they were small cubs, and they were hungry.
Mm.
And so, and like I said, I've closed it before, never had an issue. This morning, you know, I go up like this, I'm pushing, you gotta walk this thing up. Now this thing is close to 300 pounds, but it's pivoted that, you know, strong guy, you know, you can get it, you know, you have to get it up.
Yeah.
Well, I had to give a little push, and my right shoulder just, by the time I visualized it, my hand was pretty much past my knee.
Ooh.
So that's how far it was hanging down.
And this is, I would say, the beginning of this this journey.
Whew. So when my shoulder went out, I fell in this way.
Mm.
Now this whole thing is coming down.
Oh.
So I throw myself out. I land on my left. I've broke this wrist a couple of times.
Mhm.
So most people break their wrist because when they're falling on a certain angle, they put their wrist down like that and they break. I've learned to put my fist down like that. Well, in doing that, I wound up giving myself, I believe, 3 compression fractures. Oof.
That
Which
painful,
I
I'd
can't,
assume.
which I can't, we can't prove because it's all about the shoulder.
Mm.
So, make a long story short, the ambulance comes, I go down, they put it in the sling, I go to the doctor, gotta get it redone. Now, yes, I've had the shoulder done prior,
Okay.
twice. Once in 2001, and then there was another accident which I averted a huge incident. It was well worth ripping my arm out, and it was all on video. So, so go get the first surgery, go to therapy, local here in town, great, Sean and Ann. They kind of noticed, and I noticed the shoulder after the surgery just wasn't right. It was still loose,
Right.
which happens in the surgery. So I go back to the doctor. He says, "Okay, we gotta realize it and go in." So they wound up putting a 2.5-inch screw that goes through my humerus into my scapula. I believe there's 4 wires and 4 to 5 anchors, and there's a lot of hardware in there. And the screw, you know,
Right.
that's my joint. That's how this arm is moved. You see, my left arm is always going all over the place. My right arm is in one position. So after the second surgery, he waited 3-4 weeks. He says, "Okay, let's start therapy." 3 weeks into therapy, go back to the doctor, and the doctor goes, "Okay, Joe, you're released." And I'm like, "What do you mean I'm released?" He goes, "Well, you've reached your cap." I said, "I reached my cap."
Your cap? Could you?
The cap is the insurance company's is $50,000 for my shoulder. So anything above that, that's why I'm in a lawsuit that's 7 years with so much documentation. They don't want to pay me.
So Joe, what you're telling me is that if you were to, anyone really, if
Yeah.
like me, some random
Anyway.
person were to go get injured on, doing something on the job and get medical attention for it, they will only fix them up until they hit that $50,000 cap.
That's what I've been told.
That's ridiculous. that doesn't make any sense.
This whole thing doesn't make sense, and like I said, we wonder about all this suicide and opiate addiction. People living in the streets. I can't tell you how many people, because of all, I had to go to this place, Solomon Myers. They're like where the court sends you to find out. This whole process is ridiculous. I've seen people that are there that had a house, had a boat, had a company, lost everything. He's living in his car.
Due to an injury.
Yeah.
So the system is failing not just you, but a number of people.
Oh, I'm not just. This is not all about me. It's about what society has been doing and saying all this mental stuff. Think about it. The mental anguish. Me and you have talked about a lot of my personal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts. I mean, I'm not suicidal,
Right.
but I was there.
Right.
The psychological warfare that the judges, the insurance company, and these law firms we need to change this, and we wonder why we got this problem. Like I said, they'll give me all the Percocets I want.
Right.
7 years, 8 years, I have documented proof which I have to pay back.
Right.
And so I said, well then, and all the lawyers keep telling me, I'm on my 3rd lawyer, this guy, hopefully, Ken is real, he's on the ball.
Yeah.
The system is crazy.
Right.
If I go, because I've been screaming what the doctor did 7 years ago on my shoulder, it's worn out.
Right.
Already, it's worn out. I'm in pain. I can't move the thing. It clicks, it pops, it grinds. I want you to all think about it. You got 2 pieces of wood, and you put them like this, and you put a 2.5-inch screw, and you start going like this and going like this, and what happens is everything starts getting loose.
It's gonna start wearing away, and
Here's the clicker, Mike. They'll say, okay, you can go. But you want to know what happens after all the stuff is done? You know, whatever medical attention they give me, I have to wait 6 months, and then I have to start that case from day one. Where's the reasoning, sensibility, and logic in our judicial system?
And you've already been 7 years in that.
I'm going on 8.
So that sounds unreasonable to me. That sounds...
The whole system, the Social Security disability, okay, which I think we're going to emphasize on our next interview.
Yes, so
Okay.
stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Now tell me, you mentioned a little bit of psychological warfare. Please, could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, when you're in this case, the law firm and the insurance company that you're suing gets to get all your medical. And some of the medical they're using, which we're going to talk about in our next thing. I'm sorry.
Yes. No, we've got a real gripping video for you next time, so bear with us.
Yeah.
We don't want to spoil anything for the next episode.
And you know, so it's amazing, all these rules and regulations that you're screwed.
Yeah.
You know, people, like I said, the whole process of the psychological, they're using something to make me just give up and snap. Where he's in a mental institution and we don't got to pay him now, and that's how it works. And like I said, go ahead.
No, I
you know, I mean, at this point, I mean, they're doing this stuff to me, and and I'm sure I'm not the only one, you know,
right.
but I'm coming out about it. It's insane. I do have to say that there's good and bad in everybody. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I was told about the good witch and the bad witch, which were 2 female judges. One was a doll, and the other one was just didn't care about anybody. You know,
Right.
she was King Almighty on the throne. You know, and the good one retired. So now here my case. I mean, that's even half of what I've gone through and what I achieved and accomplished. And in my opinion, the judicial system, the law firms, the insurance companies, the employer have denied me the opportunity to return back to work. They denied me medical attention, and they denied me mental stability.
And this is something that they would do to pretty much anyone. This is, like, people should be concerned about this, because like I said, anyone gets hurt on the job, this is happening to them too. This is, you know, they're not just coming for you.
There's hundreds of us out
right.
here like this that are living in 1-bedroom apartments or living in their car and eating, you know, cans of soup because it's ridiculous. And these judges and the system and these insurance companies, you know, I just saw something on the news the other day. 7 years because it registered where I am in my case, that the people from Hurricane Sandy are still fighting with these insurance companies to get paid. These insurance companies dictate how we live. Right. They decide, okay, we'll just hopefully that with all the problems you have, you'll just disappear.
Well, and frankly, to me, I think it's shocking that, like, I know a lot of people would probably try to say, oh, you know, he just doesn't want to work. If I remember we were talking, you wanted to go back to work.
I always did, especially after everything I've been through.
Yeah, and they denied you that chance, did they not?
Can you imagine, everybody, you're sitting there, your shoulder's all messed up, and the doctor says to you, you're done. That's it. Like, what do you mean? I should be getting 6 to 8 more weeks of therapy on the shoulder.
Right.
And now I got to fight a workman's comp case, and it's going on 7 years. It's got to change.
Yeah.
You wonder why we got this depression and mental problems. A lot of these people, I saw another thing, how kids, both parents are addicted to opiates, and they're in foster care because they're so damaged by it. That's what they do. They use the opiates because eventually you're going to die from it.
Right. And to be clear, you do not take any opiates.
No, I do not. I have it documented. My last 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. My last 4 major surgeries, which we'll talk about in the other thing, no pain medicine at all. And I've had many doctors. My doctors said, Joe, you'll give me fist pumps. As I say, I know what opiates can do to you.
Right.
I I am a prime example, and I was prescribed. I'm not accusing the doctors or anything of doing anything wrong with them at all. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I never had that issue. Okay, it's insane. Just like I said, this workman's comp. I mean, I've been very fortunate. I guess I have to say I lost my house.
Mm.
I sold all my classic parts and cars that I had over the years of collecting. You know, and it's you know I pawned everything that I had no choice. I was after the incident with the shoulder and the whole year prior to the accident. And here I am, you know. I got injured when I was 48 years old. I'm going to be 55 this February, and they denied me so much. They denied me, like I said, they denied me. I've always come back to work, and I've had some serious stuff done to me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with no restrictions. I even went back to firefighting.
Right.
You know, and I tried going back to work. I did. I have a lot of skills. I could do the job through the day, but it's not the way I used to because I'm basically become left-handed. Then I could put in, you know, 8 hours, but then I can't move for 3-4 days.
Right.
I can't. It's so much pain, and you know, it's affected. Now I have these compression fractions. I mean, there's nothing you can do with compression fractions.
Right.
You know, I've been going to a chiropractor, which they've been, tennis, they're beautiful, they're excellent. Everybody I've been to seeing have really seen what type of person I am. You know, I'm not looking for anything. It's just shit has to change.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, we complain about this mental stuff that's going on. I've been blessed. I've been able to deal with everything, and to be honest with you, Michael,
Mm-hmm.
I think you kind of know to a certain degree. I've done it all on my own.
Yeah.
I really have. I'm not saying I'm Superman or nothing. It's, you know, I've learned a lot about the brain.
Yeah. So, we are roughly out of time on our segment here today, but we have another segment coming up. I hope you will all watch. If you remember in the beginning, I mentioned that Joe here is a walking medical miracle. And I want to dedicate an entire episode of this just to that. So I hope you tune in to that one as well. And frankly, I hope that you people are all as outraged as I am that a man who, you know, wants to work, wants to have the basic human dignity to work for a living, is denied basic medical attention and can't do that. And the frightening thing is it could happen to you, it could happen to me, it could happen to any one of us. So it is everyone's concern. Again, I'm Michael Churchella, author, writer, investigator. This is my good friend Joe Caruso, and that's all we have for you today. Thank you.
All right, everybody, be safe.